Hi there, it's Deb Gemmell of Deb Gemmell Mods, and I have relocated to Northern Ontario for the summer. Although not a great day today, it's pouring rain. Started this morning and it's supposed to rain until 6 tonight. So a good day just to catch up with you and let you know how I'm doing on all my projects. So I have I should tell you what I'm wearing. I am wearing a Elizabeth Zimmerman saddle shoulder sweater that I knit in Briggs & Little Regal 30 years ago. So I have had this for a very long time. There's the saddles there, and still going strong. I wear it. I brought it here probably 15 years ago, and I wear it in the spring and in the fall when I'm here. Nice and cozy and still going strong. So I did have a summer knit, which was my Need a Circular Yoke sweater in hemp, all hemp 6, I think. No, all hemp 3, fingering weight by Hemp for Knitting, Lana Knits. So I stopped when I was at home because I got to the end of a ball. The first 50 grams, I think. So now I'm on the second ball, and I'm on the third band of pattern here, and the increases are all done before and after these bands. So before and after, and then after I finish this lace pattern, there'll be 2 more sets of increases. And then it will become a raglan for the final part. Now, I started with a very small needle at the top. I think I started with a 2 millimeter, and I decided that I couldn't knit the whole thing with 2 millimeter needle, so I switched to a 2.5 millimeter. So my original gauge swatch here is no longer valid. So as I get to the bottom of this third band of patterning, I will do a measurement for a new gauge. I suspect it's probably close to a DK, like 22 stitches equals 4 inches, which was not at the top. So I think that's what I'm closer to. And then I will see how many stitches I need at the bottom of the yoke for it to fit me. Yeah, so it's a lovely raspberry color, which is lovely. So that's a summer knit, and we'll see how far I'm not sure I've even done a summer knit for myself before. I don't think I have. So just throw that in my bag. The other knitting I have been doing is I've been doing a sample knit for the classes that I'm going to do at the Elliot Lake Arts Club in July. So the first 2 Sundays in July, I am doing a V-neck top down, and we're going to knit a baby vest with a V-neck. And I just got some buttons the other day, so I need to sew them on, and this will be for little boy. Oops, I've had it folded up. So there we are. So that was a fun knit. Didn't take very long. And we have 2 Sundays to do this class. And I think the second Sunday, people will be a good way through this. So then we will start a discussion on how you would knit a V-neck for yourself. And we'll go through, I think we'll have time to go through some of the math for doing that. So that's a little quick knit in a DK weight yarn. So that's the first 2 Sundays in July. 2026. And the second one is a mosaic class, which is the next 2 Sundays in July, 12th, no, 5, 12, 19, 26th of July. And this is the first part of it. So this is going to be a cowl. You're going to knit it till it goes around your neck. And I'm going to show you 3 ways of doing this pattern. So this is in stockinette stitch in chunky weight yarn. So that's pretty straightforward. This is in a chunky weight on a 6mm, so it goes pretty quickly. And I'm going to emphasize the chart, the mosaic chart, which I think lets you know where you are all the time, although I have done the written instructions also. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to switch it to garter stitch. So I'm going to do another bunch of garter stitch here, the same pattern in garter stitch, which means you're going to knit on the right sides and the wrong sides, as well as slip the stitches, which is part of the mosaic knits and slips. So that'll be really fun, and it's really nice to knit, and it's going to make a lovely cowl. The end of it has buttons, so you'll do 3 buttons. So you can make it however long you want it to go around your neck. And then at the end, again, we're doing this over 2 weeks, 2 Sunday afternoons. I'm hoping that people get to the 3rd section of the mosaic workshop, which is doing a combination of some parts of it in stocking stitch and some parts of it in garter stitch, which is really fun to do and very, very effective. So far I have this much done, and I still have a little bit of time. So I didn't know whether I should knit the whole thing. I think I will only knit the stocking stitch and a little bit of the garter stitch for the first class so they can see it, and then I'll do the rest of it and finish with the combo for the last class, because then I will have something I can actually show how to do it. And a finished piece doesn't allow me a place to actually show the stitches. So I will do that. It's nice and cushy. So I have that. I've been working on that, and I have I have quite a bit of time till the 19th of July for that class. But this class with the DK will be in a couple weeks, a week and a half, I guess. So that'll be fun. And one of the other projects, so I have the class projects, the summer hemp project. I have these socks, and I have a sweater that I'm knitting. So more or less 4 projects. So this is the Coriolis socks from New Pathways for Sock Knitters by Kat Bordy. And I have showed this before, but this is the new pair. And what the modification I'm making is, you can see that there's this swirl. So one of them's going that way and the other one's going that way. And then once I finish the heel, I'm going to start a second swirl, which is not in the pattern. And I have to do quite a bit of modifications, because putting the second swirl in makes the socks really tight around the heel to get on your foot. And this is my 3rd pair that I'm trying to knit to make adjustments to my modification of the second spiral. So here I am. I did this on magic loop so I could get these exactly the same. And now what I'm going to do is put one of them on double points. I'm not a really comfortable magic loop knitter. My preference would be double points. So I've done it this far because I want them to be the same. And then now I'm gonna switch you do a decrease on this side and you do an increase on that side. And in this case, it's done with knit in front and the back. I'm gonna switch it to a yarn over here because that makes this a little stretchier to get on later. And that's what I found in the last pair I knit, is that only on one of the socks on the last pair did I start the yarn over in the actual foot, on the top of my foot. And that makes that one sock of the pair easier to get on. So now I'm gonna start this pair with that modification. I'm gonna start the yarn over here and the yarn over here. And I think that's gonna do it. That's gonna make them easy to get on. And then I can do the second spiral, which is my modification to the pattern. And I really like the look of the two spirals, so you'll be able to see that in a while. And I'm gonna leave one sock on the circulars and switch this one onto my double points. Because now I'm working to a certain number of stitches and they will both turn out the same. So I'm really happy with how the spirals are quite prominent in this yarn. This is Gravity Company. So I'm really happy with that, how they're showing up. It's very smooth, it's very nice feeling. So these are gonna be nice. I'm really happy with these. And I am very happy to be back to using my double points at this point. So that's project number, is that number 3? Number 3, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, yes. So the other one that I'm doing is I'm knitting a continuous drop shoulder, which is one of my patterns for any gauge of yarn, and I am using wax wing fingering and 4 colors. Now I have this on quite a small needle, small circular, because it's just easier to knit on a small. There's the front. This is the front. Here we go. So I did the navy until the contiguous shoulders were wide enough. So the way that the contiguous works is you increase, I did the neck, there's the neck band to there. And then you increase one side you increase on before and after the shoulder. And then where's the other shoulder? There it is. Before and after the shoulder on every round. So on the right side, you're increasing on before and after, before and after. And then I'm doing short rows here. The short rows are right here to make this triangle to drop the front of the neck there. So you turn here, purl back, and do again purlwise an increase before and after each of the shoulders. So you are increasing 4 stitches every round, right side and wrong side, as you do the short rows. And the short rows drop the front fairly well. There they are. And that's all in the pattern set up. And then when I got to the width I wanted, which I think is, this is for my daughter-in-law, and I think I have made this with 8 inches of ease for her. And then I put the shoulder stitch on a marker. So there's the shoulder. when I got to the width I wanted, I put the shoulder stitch on a marker to hold it. And then I cast on 5 stitches. And I put, just a second, on this side. Oh, here it is. I'm looking for markers. Okay, so I put markers before and after the 5 stitches, and these are for my steek. So I am knitting round and round and round, and when I get to this, when this length from the cast on for the steek here, 5 stitches, when this is, I think probably I'll do it like 8.5 inches deep, then I will cast off those 5 stitches, and then I will knit round and round and round, and I will cut down the center of these 5 steek stitches. So knitting round and round allows me to knit this in 4 colors. If you watched my last video, you would have seen that I'm doing a helical stripe rounds, which means that I'm not stopping and changing colors at the edges. I'm continuously knitting for 1 round on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, in a helical fashion. I did break my yarn up so that I would have 8 balls, because I was thinking I wanted these stripes to be 2 rounds deep. But it got to be too much of a hassle. So I ripped it back, and now I am doing each of the stripes is 1 round. So I've got yellow, taupe, cream, navy. Yellow, taupe, cream, navy. It's hard to see the taupe and the cream are very similar. So now I am knitting with 4 balls attached all the time in my bag. So the way to set up for helical knitting is to start with start your setup with 1 color less than the total you're going to use. So I am going to do these stripes in 4 colors. So yeah, so yellow, taupe, cream, off-white, navy. So those are my 4 colors. So to get set up, I take away one of them. So I take away the navy because I've already knit this whole part in navy. And then when I get set up, I start knitting across the back. So where am I? There, I'm over here. Over here, over here, over here. Here I am. Okay, I started at this side, and I knit across the back in the off-white. That was my first row. To the center of the back. That's what I did. There's the center right there. And then I dropped the off-white, and I picked up the taupe, and I knit the rest of the back in taupe. So now I have introduced the off-white and the taupe. And then across the front, I knit from the center of the steek stitches, I knit the mustard color, because I didn't want any kind of a jog on the front. So I knit the entire front in the mustard color. So that was my first row. Okay, so now I've gone once around, and now I pick up the navy. Now I pick up the navy, and I knit across the navy to, where am I? Navy, halfway across the back to here. And then I pick up the off-white and I knit it on top of the taupe. And that's how helical works. Every time you come to a color change, you pick up the color that's there and you knit it on top. So the colors spiral on top of each other. It's a very interesting technique, and I've used it lots of times, and it's working out great. As you can see, you don't have to divide whatever you're knitting into equal parts. So I was knitting the first round with 3 colors. They don't have to be in equal parts, because I went halfway across the back with 1 color, halfway across the back in color number 2, and all the way across the front in color number 3. And then when I'm over here, I pick up color number 4 and I knit it on top of this color to halfway to the back. And the way to keep it moving is to always stop 3 stitches before the color change. So there's my color change there. So I am knitting right now in taupe there. I'm knitting there. I'm knitting here. Knitting here. I'm going to knit to 3 stitches before the color change here. I'm going to drop this color. I'm going to slip 3 stitches and pick up this color. So yeah, if you look up helical knitting, there's lots of explanations for how it works. What it means is I can keep knitting round and round and round and round with these 4 colors, and they don't twist as much as you might think. What you do to untwist them is you turn it in the opposite direction to undo the twists that untwist it. And because I'm doing a steek, I'm not going back and forth for the stripes. I'm just going round and round and round for 8.5 until I can measure 8.5 inches from my shoulder. And yeah, and then I think I will probably to fix the sides before cutting, I will probably do the crochet like I have before. So this is going to take me quite a while, but it's very, very comfortable knitting because there's just not much to it. I just knit, listen to an audiobook, watch a podcast. Yeah. And it's in fingering. So I bought 4 skeins of yarn, 400 grams. It's not even going to weigh 400 grams. It's going to weigh like 350 grams. So it's really nice and light. And even with the sleeves, it's not going to weigh 400 grams. So this is really nice, easy knitting. And I look forward to doing it because the wool also is very forgiving. You know, like if you're a little light or you're like loose or you're a little tight because you're watching something or listening to something, it really doesn't matter. It's all going to come out in the wash. So I hope she picked these 4 colors. So I hope that she's going to like it. 8 inches of ease. She's a small person. If she doesn't like it, it would fit my daughter. And if she doesn't like it, it would fit me with much less ease. But that's okay. I hope she likes it. I had her look at a color chart for the waxwing fingering, and these are the colors she chose. So I think it looks pretty nice. Yeah. So I'm happy with that. So that's my knitting so far. it has been cool here. Northern Ontario, I know lots of people are suffering. I guess in Europe they're having a big heat wave. Today here it's 16 degrees Celsius, so whatever it is outside here, it is inside here, because what we have is a 2x4 building, but it's dry. And my job here this summer is to do quite a bit of maintenance that has to be done here. So these places that are left over the winter need quite a bit of upkeep, need upkeep probably a little bit every year. And 3 years of COVID kind of put us behind in doing this. During COVID, we still came up, and my whole family's here. My 2 sisters are here, and my parents were here at that time, and they were both elderly, and my dad had dementia. So I guess we missed a year probably, but for the 2 years after, we were just really trying to give my parents another summer here, and I'm afraid that the maintenance of the buildings and the work we would generally do didn't get done. So still doing a little bit of catch up here to keep things in shape. So that's my job. I think tomorrow I have to hit the home hardware store and get some lumber and do some work. So I have been here a week now, and mostly I've been reading and knitting because just needed the time to relax and enjoy being here. And now it's time to do a little bit of work around the place. I did chop down the undergrowth that grows up every year, and another video I'll show you our frontage here, but we're on Lake Huron, and the lake is really rolling at the moment, and I'm right by the screen door, so you can see some light, because yeah, it's a very cloudy, darkish day, and a good day to sit around and do some knitting. I'm going to do some plying some yarn today, so I can show you some of that next time. So I hope your summer is going really well. I'm doing very well here, and happy to be here, and we'll talk next time. See you later.